Annie Wimberly sustained a single gunshot wound to her abdomen.
I immediately just picked up my cell phone and began to call 911.
What we're looking for is that magic phone call for somebody to call in and say, hey, this is what I saw, this is whom I saw, and this is the information that I need to give you.
Welcome to Crime Stoppers, South Florida Case Files. I'm Dick Maston, the director of Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. The purpose of this program is to share unsolved cases with as many South Florida viewers as possible, empowering you to do something about the violence on our streets. Every case we feature is unsolved. Every case we feature has a cash reward available. In other words, every case we feature is an opportunity for you to help your community and at the same time earn Crime Stoppers cash without even giving your name. Now let's get started. On December the 27th, 2011, 69-year-old Annie Wimberly, a local pastor and community leader, was killed in her own home in a horrific hail of gunfire. Here's the story.
I have 8 brothers and sisters. We all grew up pretty close together. I'm the youngest. Growing up, she was a loving person. Someone you can always go to. She was like the neighborhood mom. Everyone always came to her whenever they had a problem or issue, and she would help them.
It was funny because you have other people calling you mom, and it's not their mom, but you couldn't do nothing but laugh about it because that's the type of person that she was. She was always free-hearted. She's a cosmetologist, and she does hair. She wasn't only doing hair. She also was helping people through it.
My mama was a leader. She helped people. She taught us a lot of things. She showed me how to do hair before I even started going to cosmetology school.
My mom, she loved board games, Monopoly, any type of game that on Sundays and holidays. She liked family. She loved family, and she always embedded it in us to have, always be around your family. Family is number one.
She always wanted us to, be in the house. She didn't want us in the street.
She liked order, and she let you know whatever you go for, always accomplish it. Do better in life and never carry hate in your heart for no one.
My grandmother, I called her Mama. She was just always there. She was happy, she was honest, open. She just loved everybody around her, her family. She was friendly. She just helped everybody who needed her.
She took us to work with her sometime, and always to church. Every Sunday we had to go and make us sing in church.
We pretty much went to church our whole lives. It was school and church. And for my mother, it was work in church. She was very active in church. She was the co-pastor for 21 years. And then just last year, she became the pastor after my dad passed away.
She's more of a teacher. She teaches you every single step that's in the Bible, and it just make you feel like you were just there and you can understand every word and feel every word that she says. That's the type of pastor she was, and she was always open. Just being with my mom was just happy. Just being with her just make you happy, period.
I remember the times that my mom would be at work and I would go pick her up just to take her out to lunch. And we would talk, and the things that we would talk about like my brothers and sisters, all the funny things that they've done in their life and how she's helped them through it, and some of the funny things that I've done in my life, and we would just sit back and laugh at all those things, and that usually what brings a smile to my face.
Annie Wimberly was a pastor of a local church in the Liberty City area of Miami, and it was not believed to have been the intended target of the homicide.
Welcome back. I'm Dick Maston. Let's take a moment to learn how Crime Stoppers works. When you call in your tip, you receive a code number. If your tip leads to an arrest, your code number is written on an envelope, and your envelope is filled with reward money and cash. When the suspect is arrested, you call Crime Stoppers and you choose your pay date and location. You go to the location on that date and they give you the envelope. They ask you to count your money, and once you count it, you're done. You never give your name, you never sign anything, no one ever knows who you are. It's that simple.
Hi, this is Miami-Dade County Police. You're down 911. Is everything okay?
No, down the street here, we had just a lead gunfight going on.
What's this address or street and avenue?
59th Street, 32nd Avenue.
Do you hear anything else besides the sounds of the gunshots?
No, it lasts about a good minute or so. About 3 different gun sounds.
On December 27th, 2011, just minutes before 4 a.m., inside of the residence of 5981 Northwest 32 Avenue, Annie Wimberly, 69-year-old female, and other family members of hers were sleeping. 2 gunmen opened fire outside the residence with assault rifles. It's believed that she was already sleeping and had rose up out of the bed when she heard the gunshots.
It was early morning and heard gunshots. Everyone in the house was sleeping, and I woke to gunshots. So I just got down on the floor, and I immediately just picked up my cell phone, and began to call 911.
Someone was just shooting at my home right now.
Someone is shooting inside your home?
No, outside.
When the shooting was done, I went to check everyone in the house, and I looked in my mother's room, and I saw her just laying across the bed.
Hello?
My mom being shot. Northwest 32nd Avenue. Please. My mom being shot. Please hurry.
I was holding down my mother's wounds while talking to them on the phone.
Where is she shot on her body, sir?
It's like she's pregnant in her arm and in her stomach.
Did you see who did it?
No, we were all just sleeping. They just left. They were just shooting at the house. Please.
I'm sending help. Stay on the way.
Hello, I'm Dick Maston of Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. This weapon is an AK-47, being found increasingly used in the shootings in South Florida. It's known on the streets as an AK or a chopper. This kind of weapon is exactly what the gun bounty program is designed to take off of the streets. The Miami-Dade Police Department will pay a reward of up to $1,000 for an arrest leading to the confiscation of one of these weapons. You can call Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS, where you will always remain anonymous.
On December 27th, 2011, Miss Annie Wimberly, 69-year-old female, sustained a single gunshot wound to her abdomen while inside of her home at 5981 Northwest 32 Avenue and was transported to a local hospital. The home was left completely riddled in bullet holes. Dozens of casings were collected from outside the residence. Audio of the shooting shows just how intense and bent on trying to kill someone inside the residence these subjects were.
And immediately after they had sent help, I called my brother so that he can let everyone else know what had happened. When a policeman came into the room, they asked her, did she know what year it was? And she responded. Did she know her name? She responded. Did she know what year she was born, her birthday? She responded. And the last thing that she asked me for was water. So my wife came and gave me a bottle of water, and I gave her like 2 sips of water before the paramedics came in and took her to the hospital.
The night before that happened, we just came from a show and she got home, and so I wasn't expecting no call. You know, my nephew rode home with her, and I got a call around 3-something in the morning from my sister-in-law, and I was asleep when she was telling me that my mom was shot.
I left the house that night because I stayed there also, and I got a call about 3-something in the morning, and my son, he said, Mama got shot. It was just crazy. I can still remember it. I'm talking about like it today. And my main concern was where she was shot at.
And as I was going to the hospital, as I entered the door, they was just pulling her to the back.
After I had got to the hospital, she was in surgery for about 6 hours.
The doctors came out and explained to us about things that she lost, her organs. She went through a lot in the going through that surgery, but she is a strong woman.
Following surgery, they finally allowed us to see her. My mom, she would do well, and she would exceed the doctor's expectations, and then she would get sick again, and she would fight through it again because she was just a fighter, and she fought to the very end.
It was like unreal, and I was saying to myself, that's not my mom in there, you know. My mom, she probably out working, or she's at the church, or she's at somewhere besides that hospital. That is not my mom.
Miss Wimberly remained in the hospital undergoing procedures until succumbing to her injuries on February 9th, 2012.
It was 45 days, and that was far exceeding what the doctors had predicted that she would live.
She was the fifth of the family, and she making her business see about her kids, and by her not here, you know, calling, or that smile that she has, a certain smile, you know, it's hard.
It changed my life a lot. I lost my best friend, my pastor, my beautician, my mama. I feel like I lost everything.
But I'm gonna miss my mom, and we can't call her for advice. It's just gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for us.
This shooting of Annie Wimberly was possibly related to a series of ongoing shootings going on in that neighborhood between 2 rival groups. There's been over 9 shootings already documented within that one small neighborhood from about the October time to December of 2011. It's believed that there's more than one gunman involved. It's unknown whether they came in a car, on foot. We urge anybody with information to please call the Miami-Dade Police Department Homicide Bureau at 305-471-2400 and request to speak with Detective Mike Parmenter, or contact Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous.
To everyone that is afraid of becoming a snitch, that believes in the no snitch rule, I ask you to look into your hearts. You have to understand that if you're not telling the law enforcement what happened, then you're actually helping them to do this to someone else. And this time it could be your family.
It doesn't make you a snitch, it makes you human. And it's a human got killed, not animals. And that's how I look at it. The way they shot my mom is like an animal.
If you're the man that killed my mom, the people that came to her house, you shouldn't be able to sleep at night because you have a mother, you have a sister, you have a grandmother. I know you probably don't want to turn yourself in, but you don't talk to somebody, and somebody is going to turn you in. You can't get away with it for long.
If you know something about this case, You need to pick up the phone and help police take these killers off the streets before they hurt someone that you love. Call Crime Stoppers now at 305-471-TIPS. Welcome back to Crime Stoppers, South Florida Case Files. On November the 3rd, 2011, two hard-working men parked near a bus stop at 14th Avenue and 25th Street. They were ready to head to work. Minutes later, one was shot in a brutal robbery. It's a robbery he's fortunate to have survived.
I became involved in this November the 3rd. Just started my shift about 6 in the morning. I got a call about a shooting in the area of Northwest 14th Avenue and 25th Street, and it came out as not only a shooting but a robbery. I responded to the scene, and upon arriving, the crime scene was already there. The scene was taped off. Officers were on both ends of the street. I got a synopsis from the officer and the witness that was actually in the vehicle during the robbery. The gentleman and his friend arrived on that location, 14th Avenue Northwest 25th Street. They parked in their car, and they were there to wait for a van that takes them to a construction site up in West Palm Beach. And the intention was to leave the car there parked while they worked all day to come back and be dropped off there. Our victim is a 38-year-old male, and he was just sitting in his car waiting to go to work. He's married and he has 2 young children. The witness was sitting directly behind them because it was his first time picking him up to take him to work, and he didn't feel too comfortable, so he sat in the back seat. They got there a little early, so they decided to take a short nap before the van got there. The victim himself lowers the driver's side window just so that they can get some fresh air as they slept. And right before he kind of dozed off, the witness in the back actually stated, "We saw the offenders rode by." It was 2 young black males. We didn't think anything of it. So they continued to take their nap. Within 3 to 5 minutes, they're awoken to a person screaming at them, "Open the door." And when they look, there's a young black male on the driver's side of the door holding a firearm at the driver, and there's another black male on the passenger side. They're both trying to get into the car through the doors. They're ordering them to open the door and hand over any cash, jewelry, anything they had. A driver is panicking at this time. The witness actually dives down into the floorboard on the back seat. And next thing he hears is a gunshot. They shot right through the crack of the window. Later, I come to find when I see the victim at trauma, he actually got shot on the left cheek from the front, and the projectile is actually lodged just to the left of his spinal cord. Part of his teeth and tissue were blown out onto the front seat and the passenger seat. And somehow one of them ended up in the back seat on the floorboard. Some time after the shooting, they did gain entry to the vehicle. All they took was his wallet, which has his license, $10, and they fled north on 14th Avenue on their bicycles. The victim, who was shot, was the driver. He actually survived his injuries after being shot. I did go see him at trauma. He was not able to talk to me, but he was coherent enough to understand my questions. He did respond to me by hand signals and by trying to shake his head. He can identify these offenders if he sees them again. I asked him that 2 or 3 times, and he did respond that he can. When I spoke to the doctor, they told me his injuries are it's just one projectile, one gunshot wound. I personally saw the gunshot wound on the left cheek, but it is lodged very, very close to the spinal cord. He is out of trauma in the receiving area. He's in the recovery, but they're waiting for him to get better so they can go back in to remove the projectile, which is still stuck there, because it's a very sensitive surgery. Thankfully, our victim survived. Even though he did survive, he's currently in a lot of pain. The projectile itself is still stuck next to his spinal column, so he still has to continue to recover before they can even go in there to take it out. And then after they can remove the projectile, then they have to go back in and reconstruct his whole jawbone, because he had 3 to 4 teeth blown out, and he's going to be out of work for a long time. And on top of all this, he's going to be stuck with all of the medical bills. The only information we have right now are 2 black males between the ages of 17 and 18 years old. They were wearing black clothing. They were on bicycle. They are familiar with the neighborhood, so they probably do frequent that neighborhood at approximately that time. We are asking for help. If you have any information, please call me, Detective Michelangelo Rojas, at the City of Miami Police Department Robbery Unit. Our phone number there is 888-603-6370, or if not, you can call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous.
Crime Stoppers of Miami-Dade has one goal: to make the streets safer for law-abiding citizens by solving cases and capturing criminals. To learn more about your local Crime Stoppers, become a fan on Facebook or log on to crimestoppersmiami.com. Now, I'm Dick Maston. Be sure to join us next week for another episode of Crime Stoppers Case Files.